But who are they, though?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for joining us for part 4, Salt on the Streets, episode 142. My name is Donovan.
I'm Colin.
We are
and I
happy
had to do that, too.
We are happy to have you guys here again for part 4. You can find all of our information, our Patreon, our Instagram, our YouTube, all at Salt of the Streets. And you can find all of that on our website at saltofthestreets.com, including our own personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. And Colin is a Big Bird Offie on both of those things. Our sponsor for this segment is Leggings and Aprons on Instagram.
Boom.
JP Bakery. That's the official name of the company. She's got all kinds of things going on. The Valentine hearts are going out this week. She's got big orders. It's good. It's a whole deal. So look at that. Look at the people underneath the suggested for you. That very first one. That's the one that I was telling you about. On the right side of the page, that's the one I was telling you about.
Oh, nice.
Made one specifically for the video game.
Oh, shit.
That's what that is.
I may or may not have seen something come up when I was going through some Instagram reels last night. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Playing some Hogwarts.
Isn't that hilarious?
Because Hogwarts is a big deal right now. It's a big deal right now. It's a cultural touchstone, if you will.
This beer smells great.
This is the Mr. Mustachio?
Yeah, it
is
smells
a fantastic
great.
The Spruce Tip IPA. Kind of got a slight gin thing going on.
It is a little sour. Yeah. But it has good sweet notes to the smell.
I'm a huge fan of this beer. It's real fucking good. Here, I thought you were talking about the F-22 Raptors flying in fucking Alaska.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, from the Northern Provisions.
That's nice.
Yeah, this is from... Yeah, shot down the object in the Yukon Territory. Look at that there. Oh, I fucking hate it.
So we got the grab bag. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. One of the ones that we're going to knock out first. Someone asked us to talk about ethnic cleansing. When I asked for more information, they said in regards to like war specifically and erasing people's histories. So still like a relatively generic topic. So I think we'll just talk about it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Because we were asked about it, and this is what we're doing here today. So the way that I took it, right, the way that I interpreted this question is essentially like history is written by the victors, right? And so when people win certain conflicts, when they do this type of stuff, when they're trying to solidify control somewhere, it's not uncommon, and it has benefited people in the past for a conquering force to erase the culture of a given people and write history in a manner that is more favorable to them.
Check.
We've seen through other ideologies, we've seen ethnic cleansing to be used as a tool to like unify populations, right? The Jews in World War II, they're blaming people for their problems. The Uyghurs in China, all the different like we've talked about these
a lot of
things
different
today.
tribes in like sub-Saharan Africa and stuff like that.
Yeah, nationalism is also
shit. There was a
Hutus and the Tutsis.
Yes, was that Hotel Rwanda? Yeah.
Yes, nationalism is often used as a vehicle to accomplish ethnic cleansing. For even that can go all the way back to like westward expansion. You know, we're talking about the shit that we did to the natives, like all kinds of stuff that's used to subjugate people. So it's horrible to see. And you were talking about like ISIS in the Middle East just destroying different historical monuments and stuff like that because they are
cultural heritage sites and things like that.
They don't recognize these as legitimate.
No, and they don't want any. They don't want any reminders of the past at this point. They don't want anything that would be considered like anti-Islamic at that point. So like any kind of Western civilization, ancient artifact, even going back, some of the. I mean, this is over. The Palmyra, tons and tons and tons and tons of things. I mean, this was something that was considered in World War II even, that there was a general concept at the beginning of war to not blatantly destroy historical Western culture heritage sites.
Right.
And both sides in that conflict generally had some kind of concept that they both wanted those things to be around, which later on just kind of became something that was an afterthought of like, well, we would have liked to try that, but ultimately, especially in like Italy and a lot of that stuff got completely destroyed during war.
Yeah.
Or war. Yeah. Or stolen, just like artifacts and paintings and shit like that, most of which we don't know where they're at today.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely something that's happened throughout the course of history. The Viking attacks along like in the British Isles and things like that. I mean, so much Christian, Catholic artifacts and art were stolen from them. You know, books, all sorts of things. They didn't really even know what it was, but if it's shiny, I'm taking it. Or you're just desecrating things because that's an affront against the gods, and so you burn it all to the ground and it goes away. Stuff that would be priceless artifacts to Western civilization today, gone.
Right.
You know, and it's a tale as old as time. You know, any kind of the Soviets were great at that. They destroyed tons of artifacts like that.
Or exported. We had that statue. I think that it's still there. I know there was a while they were talking about taking it down, but the Lenin statue in
there,
Seattle,
baby.
it's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Fremont going to Fremont.
I know for a while they were talking about taking it down.
Yeah.
They've done it several times, but maybe during COVID they were talking about taking it down.
It comes
again,
and
but-
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fremont Lenin statue for some, because it was like owned by a private guy at one point. We talked about, I think, at one point.
Yes, because it used to be on top of a church in like a super small town, and there
Yeah.
was a guy who was from that town that came here to see the Lenin statue because he was like, "Oh, this used to be on top of the church in my fucking hometown."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone bought it and put it there, like they realized like an art piece or something. You
Yeah.
know, and ever since then it's been extremely controversial. That they're like, "Why would you have this here? Why would you fuck?"
Actually, Google Maps
Like,
will
who
be our
fucking
friend.
cares at this point? You know, who fucking cares?
It's
Like,
it's not like when you go into Russia and you see the statues of Lenin and Stalin, which are still like exalted monuments in
Right.
Russia today. This
It's
is more of like
it's a piece of street art at this point. It's in
Yeah.
downtown fucking Seattle. So it's in
Yes.
Fremont. It's just
yeah. We're gonna go visit it on the old Google Earth here.
it's just a thing that's there.
That's him. Right there. Oh, they blur out his face.
That's really funny.
That is interesting. That's probably just the AI of Google Maps doing.
So people like, and period, you could see his hand is red. Like people will do that pretty consistently. They'll paint different parts of him. Like that
Yeah.
happens all the time. So they'll have to come by and clean it up. And
Not, it's kind of the polar opposite of a historical cleansing, if you will, during wartime. Huh?
yeah. So that used to be on a statue somewhere in like very remote Russia. And
Now it's over here in Fremont.
yep, it's been since reclaimed and is now in Seattle.
It's a wild town, that Fremont.
So
They make really good beer, though. Fremont Brewing Company.
that is true.
That's not Manny's. That's Georgetown. Manny's is
Georgetown.
Georgetown. But yeah, it's a really weird, artsy, eclectic neighborhood. It fits for the neighborhood. We'll put it that way. That's the same neighborhood that does the naked bike race or whatever every year.
right.
You don't need to be in town during that day.
If you've ever been to Seattle,
You will see things that you cannot unsee.
Yeah.
It's a whole deal. So yeah, it's an interesting concept.
It's not good, obviously.
No.
Ethnic cleansing. Well,
No.
I'm not pro ethnic cleansing. I'm
No?
anti ethnic cleansing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm very anti ethnic cleansing. I happen to be a fan of most of ethnicities that tend to be cleansed. So I'm right there for it. I want them to shine. Maybe they should all deserve their own state. Sorry about that.
That was terrible. How dare you?
How dare I? And unfortunately, it's not going to change. We'll put it that way. It's
no.
been human history for a very long
Like
time.
I said,
It's-
historically, it's benefited conquering nations to do that to other people. So, but it's rough business.
It's rough business. It sucks, especially in the Middle East. There's so much like cradle of ancient civilization, monuments and historical places there. There's that whole thing. You ever seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Yep.
Where the final temple they go into, it's like the one carved into the side of this fucking mountain in this canyon and shit.
Yep.
That's all fucked up now.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. They defaced the shit out of the front of it. It's all carved and it's all blown up and shit in the front. That shit's really sad. So thank goodness Atlantis is underwater. Or wait, no, it's not. I forget it's in Africa now.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot.
Well.
Atlantis is in Africa.
Thank God for that, right?
That's the one like kind of conspiratorial tilt that I hang out in, is that whole Randall Carlson world of ancient apocalypse and this, that, and the other thing, these ancient civilizations. I 100,000% believe Atlantis was a real place.
Okay.
And I think there's a relatively good idea of where it actually was today. And part of the reason it doesn't exist anymore was because it got taken out in essentially that younger Dryas period of the impact around the world and the massive flooding, and then that changed all of the climate dynamics around the world and ultimately left Atlantis in the middle of the desert, essentially. And it's kind of one of those things, I don't know if we talked about in the podcast, but it's like if you go to the eastern Washington, western Montana, or Idaho, western Idaho, eastern Washington area, I mean, it looks like there was a glacier that just melted instantly and then just washed south. And it looks like it just carved out the fucking land at this point. I mean, you could look at the topography and you go, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of evidence that it could be that. And then what we're talking about in the Atlantis case is over in Africa, something very, very similar, where you could see this washout, and then there's this area of concentric circles that definitely do not look like they're natural, that people are pointing to now as the possible previous existent place of Atlantis, which when you look at ancient civilizations at that time, that was a hub of population and trading centers, and there could have been water and blah, 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 and, you know, all that good shit. But that's where I'm at. I could do those conspiracies all day. Oh man, I could feel it coming on as like the mucus drips down my throat and then it scratches just enough. I'm like, I can get one more sentence out.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a tweet that I just found from the open source intelligence monitor currently focusing on Eastern Europe and the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. It's the OSINT Defender. It's a verified account. And they said that F-15s have reportedly been scrambled out of McCord Field near Seattle moments ago.
Oh,
There was
boy.
another article that I saw from Fox News that said that before...
Kevin, I can't even begin to explain
Oh,
to you.
Jesus Christ.
3 hours, buddy.
We talked about Peter Zehan. I don't know if you were here for that, but...
Yeah, we did talk about Peter Zehan. Zuhan.
We shot down the Canada one today, right? Or the Canada balloon got shot down today,
I don't know if the Canada balloon got shot down. Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
they-
that's the one
So
we
it
were
says
looking
the
at
day
earlier. Yeah.
before the Canada one, they detected a third flying object over Alaska.
Is that the one they blew up?
I'm not
Off of
sure. Let's
Alaska?
open them. It's a Fox News article. Let's see.
Send it.
here.
Full send, baby. Who originally said the full send thing?
I don't know, the Nelk Boys maybe, or
The Nelk Boys? I don't know if I want to be associated with. I don't know much about the Nelk Boys.
me either. I watched them do an interview with Ben Shapiro that was pretty good, but that's the only thing I've ever seen from the Nelk Boys.
Yeah.
It says the Pentagon issued a statement Saturday, so today, revealing details about how an unidentified object was shot down by the U.S. military over Canada on Saturday.
Ooh.
Pentagon Press Secretary Brigadier General Pat Ryder, that same piece of shit, said in a statement that President Biden authorized NORAD to work with the Canadian government to shoot down a high-altitude airborne object on Saturday after a call with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Why can't Canada shoot down their own fucking balloon?
Because you don't
Because
have
they're
the right.
Canada?
You don't have the right to defend yourself with an F-22.
Oh,
in Canada.
shit. I'm sorry. My bad, Trudeau. My bad.
According to the Pentagon, NORAD detected the object over Alaska late Friday evening and monitored the object over U.S. airspace with the assistance of the Alaska Air National Guard and was, quote, tracking it closely and taking time to characterize the nature of the object. Monitoring continued today as the object crossed into Canadian airspace with Canadian CF-18 and CP-140 aircraft joining the formation to further assess the object. A U.S. F-22 Raptor was used to shoot down the object in Canadian airspace using an AIM-9X missile, according to a statement. As Canadian authorities conduct recovery operations to help our countries learn more about the object, the Federal Bureau of Investigation will be working closely with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
The Mounties.
Yep. The White House released a readout of the call between Biden and Trudeau shortly after the Pentagon statement that said the president has been continually briefed by his national security team since the object was detected. Out of an abundance of caution and the recommendation of their militaries, President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau authorized it to be taken down. President Biden authorized U.S. fighter aircraft assigned to NORAD to conduct the operation, and the U.S. F-22 shot down the object in Canadian territory in close coordination with Canadian authorities. So it sounds like they're saying the one that they shot down over Canada also went over Alaska.
Yeah.
So it's not a separate object. It's that they detected it as a third one.
I think this goes more to my the point I made earlier. I was like, maybe Xi should be getting on the phone with Biden, being like, "Hey man, you got like another 5 or 6 coming, so let's just remember this." Good Lord, that's fun. So the readout of the call with Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada Earlier today, President Biden spoke with the Prime Minister Trudeau on the unidentified unmanned object in North American airspace. The object was closely tracked and monitored by NORAD over the last 24 hours, and the president has been continually briefed by his national security team since the object was detected. Out of an abundance of caution and at the recommendation of their militaries, President Biden and Prime Minister Joe authorized it to be taken down. President Biden authorized U.S. fighter aircraft assigned to NORAD to conduct the operation, and a U.S. F-22 shot down the object in Canadian territory in close coordination with Canadian authorities. Wow, they literally just took that shit right from the brief. The leader discussed the importance of recovering the object in order to determine more details on its purpose or origin. President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau commended NORAD and U.S. Northern Command's strength and efficient posture. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all did your job. Good job. Well, that's fun. This is just a thing that's happening now. This is just a thing that's happening now. F-22s are being scrambled over American airspace to shoot down fucking unknown flying objects. This sounds like a real good situation for all of us.
I'm trying to find, because I just saw another one.
No!
Said that.
That's at 5 or 6, bro. We're about to run out. We got to.
NORAD is. FAA statement says the FAA closed some airspace in Montana to support Department of Defense activities. Contact NORAD for additional information.
Oh, yeah. Let me contact NORAD and we'll see what the fuck's going on. Yeah, let me just hang on. Let me call NORAD real quick. Jesus.
The FAA.
I don't like none of this, bud. I don't like none of this. Whether it doesn't matter whether it's a fucking balloon or whatever the fuck. Once there's military jets in American airspace shooting down unknown flying objects, this is something we haven't done. We haven't dealt with this in my lifetime. This is like a new deal. Don't like where none of this is going. Let me put it that way. This is upsetting at the very least. From fucking Joint Base?
Yeah, from
Joint Base.
That's what supposedly.
Oh.
That's I'm trying to.
Well, that's fucked up. They should have called the Indian Island guys. They're closer by like 5 seconds, according to jet speed. Although the only thing we have in the northern base there was this makes me happy I'm a prepper. Oh, yeah. This makes me happy I'm a prepper. Get it, Kevin, get it. Do you have a proper prepper beard? I believe
he does.
Yeah, I believe we've seen
he does.
that. Yeah, it's proper.
He's got a great beard.
I don't know if you can make out with Nick Offerman level beard, but
I think so.
You could.
If you could make out
maybe
with...
just trim a little bit of it, you got to round out the bottom.
Yeah.
Make it nice and clean. But yeah, I think all we have up there is the FA-18s versus I think down at Joint Base we got the F-22s.
Yeah.
Hey, he says. Easy. Yeah, they should have cast Kevin for that role. Would have been more realistic.
Would have been better.
It would have been better. I mean,
now
Nick Offerman is
we're
legit.
Just talking about how we want Kevin to do gay scenes with this guy. That's not good. That's not what we mean.
I mean, it was a whole no deal. Oh, what is this? Jack Posobiec, I don't like your Twitter feed. The unknown objects are now threatening Wawa. I mean, he's got, it looks like, I don't know, he's being a fucking idiot. Jack Posobiec is he's like 60-40 reliable on his breaking news and breaking info.
Yeah.
Most of it's pretty good, but almost half the time it's like, well, that was bullshit. Thanks, man. Thanks for getting me worked up. You find anything out?
No.
You find anything out? Because
No.
I'm about to just pull up my Twitter feed and we'll just vamp while you look.
No. And that's what I was trying to scroll. So do you want to talk? Let's talk about eating eggs really quick, right? So what's your favorite way to eat eggs? That's it. That's what I got. That's the extent of this. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think there are a lot of health implications to eating eggs, and I think they're all very good for you. I think there's been a lie sold to the American people about high cholesterol and bullshit about the yolks that are in the eggs, and that you should just eat egg whites, which I think is just the plain Jane protein aspect of the egg. If you want more protein in your eggs, put extra egg whites in there. But also, don't skip on the yolks, because the yolks is where all the good shit actually lives.
Good for
you. The yolk makes a chicken.
That's what
Let's remember, this is the food that makes the chicken that you will later on eat. So why will just skip the middleman, and you don't have to feed the fucker. You could just eat it before it's like a chicken. My favorite and only proper way to eat eggs is to do them extremely over easy, where the the white is barely just done. Ideally, the white should finish setting on the plate, and then the yolk is perfect enough. You could take some toast and dip it in there and fucking right in the yolk. It needs to be a messy disaster if you're gonna slice it up and eat it. You know, if you're gonna fucking cut it, you want yolk everywhere at that point. I want liquid gold flowing from the yolk, and that's the only proper way to do it. I don't care. I mean, there's hard boiled, which is more of a utilitarian purpose.
Yeah,
you can do that, but also you better put some salt and pepper on that bitch, because who wants just a plain Jane ass fucking either that or a
like
deviled
that type
egg?
of
But
shit. I don't like a deviled egg. I don't like a hard boiled egg. I'm not into that. I will. No.
I am actually this. I'm so glad we got to this point, because I'm supposed to give you a lot of shit right now. I need to understand. Let me just first, before I give you shit.
Okay.
Let me ask you the question.
Okay. Oh shit.
Are you going to have chickens at your house?
Yeah, that's the intent long term. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't have to give you shit. Congratulations.
Why?
Because you need to be having chickens.
Oh, yeah.
You live in the city of Bremerton.
Yeah.
So it's like a thing. I don't think there's any, I technically can't here because of the commies that run my neighborhood.
Oh.
But realistically, I'm pretty sure you can have chickens. You got the space.
Yes.
You should get some
Yeah,
chickens.
I'd like to have a couple of chickens and a couple of ducks, because I like ducks. Jordan likes chickens, and they cohabitate real well. So,
what do you like about ducks?
they're just chiller.
They're just chiller?
more chill. Yeah, they're like. I find them easier to handle. I like them. They're more pleasant. They're not as aggressive.
They're a little bigger. They got round bills instead of sharp bills.
Yeah, they're not as aggressive. They're like, they make cool sounds.
And I will tell you this right now: duck eggs are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they're good. They're a little
really
bit bigger.
good. And they're a little big. Yeah, they're really good. They're kind of more oblong shaped. They're a little longer. They're really
delicious.
Good. Hell, fucking yeah.
We had ducks when I was a kid. We had them for a couple years, and they were cool. I was into it.
Ducks are super aggressive to the females.
Oh yeah, to the females for sure. I did see we had one male, one female, and they would bang, and he would stand on her back.
Jordan, it's happening. You all heard it. Now you're chip committed, bud. I don't know if you were wavering beforehand, but you've been committed.
No, it's just a time frame thing.
Oh yeah.
And Keith, they were called Keith and Violet, these ducks that we had. And Violet had this little poof ball that grew on top of her head. It was almost like baby feathers that never went away. And Keith would stand on her back and bite onto that poof and would bang her. Like that's how they
with the corkscrew penis.
Yeah, that's how they
up.
would go about it. Is he would hang on to anytime we changed the water out, because they had like a kiddie pool, so we'd change the water out, put fresh water in there, and she would jump in there, and then he would jump in there, and he would jump right the fuck onto her. And they would fly around a little pool because she'd be trying to get away from him, because the corkscrew dick and whatnot. And then it was done relatively quickly. We never got like fertilized eggs from it, It was because she didn't give a shit.
You ever cracked into a fertilized egg?
No.
It is unpleasant.
No.
It's a whole deal.
I've never hunted before. No, that's.
I've killed a lot. I've killed more ducks than the bird flu.
Yeah, no. Colin's a big duck hunter, so I'm into that. I got my hunting license and stuff this year. It's been a little rougher to get out than I anticipated.
Brand new baby on board.
Yeah, a little rougher than I anticipated.
Yeah, next year we got you.
Yes.
Yeah, because of course it's February, so you're not allowed to hunt fucking dick right now, except for ducks.
This state is a fascist tyrannical wonderland.
Yeah, if you want to hunt, get ready for like the 1 month you could do that a year.
Right.
Unless you're a bow hunter, then you get some more action. So I'm good. I'm glad you're going to get some ducks and some chickens, and it'll be good. And then Dax and Reason will be chasing chickens.
Yeah.
And I like to call them chicken chasers.
I'd like to get.
I wish you understood that video game reference. Chicken chaser.
The Link, like Legend of Zelda?
No, this is from Fable.
Fable. I played Fable. Yeah.
Chicken chaser.
Yeah.
That was the first game where you can kind of change the future or whatever based off of people's perception. And your first title, everybody knew you as Chicken Chaser.
Yeah.
They were all British and Chicken Chaser. What are you doing?
The fuck was I going to say? Oh,
eggs.
I would like to have a detached garage. Down in the bottom part of the yard.
Word.
And then on the side of the house that like Dax's room and stuff is on, put a chicken coop there, chicken and duck coop that will just kind of build in, and then we'll let them out during the day to do whatever
Their
they
chicken
want,
thing,
and then
yeah.
put it back in there at night.
They'll like eat fucking worms and shit.
Exactly.
It'll be good. It'll be good. And they'll, I mean,
Got tons of water flowing through the yard,
yeah, I bet.
so they'll like that.
Yeah, and we can harness their feces because it
Mhm.
makes good fertilizer.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the garden like right in front of there too, so we'll have it all.
It'll be good. They have a little like outdoor like little sunning area for them,
Mhm.
and then they'll hang out there, and then they'll poop, and then you're gonna poop right on the fucking
Just
flower bed. Done.
Scoop it up.
Yeah, have a little trough there, like collecting bat guano.
Yeah, and then at the end of the year, just mix it in with the.
That's
I
right.
gotta build new garden beds this year.
Yeah. Fuck Ukraine. We don't need fertilizer.
I'm gonna go and get all the
We got
strawberry
chickens.
plants, and I'm gonna. If you're looking at the front door, we have like that rock wall along the right part of the yard, and I'm gonna put all of the strawberry plants up on along that rock wall.
Yeah, that's
Just let them all.
that's a
grow
good
down.
spot. Yeah, I really like that.
It's gonna be great.
Amen to that.
So the only other two proper topics that we have, and it was the manosphere,
Yeah.
and then the Twitter whistleblower. So do you want to talk about the manosphere?
I am very interested in talking about
Okay,
this.
let's talk about the manosphere. So the manosphere.
What is the manosphere?
Yeah, it is both a general term and also the name of a specific podcast, right? So
yeah, the podcast is interesting.
the manosphere is like a new aged umbrella term for any number of misogynistic, all in quotations, right? Misogynistic influencers to young men that are like teaching them to be pieces of shit, right? So, i.e., again, the Manosphere podcast, Andrew Tate, like people like this, right? You said Jack Murphy probably fits into this type
Yep.
of category.
Yeah.
Kevin Garcia says, I think we should all be doing things to make sure our own families are prepared for the worst. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah, I think Donovan's first spin-off podcast or YouTube show will be all about prepping.
Yeah, probably
prepping and firearms.
Probably a lot to do with gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do gear stuff too, especially as I'm starting to get more into it, updating different kit and stuff like that.
Fuck yeah.
I have to now that I've lost so much weight. I have to buy new stuff. My belt is too big.
I went back and because Alex, who was in, shout out to Alex, who was in the chat yesterday during
Yeah.
the beer show, he made a comment on his old video about talking like JBP was shill and shit like that. He was like, yeah, we might have to remove this, blah, blah, blah. Just fucking around. And, and I watched the section of the podcast that he timestamped, and I was like, bro, you have lost so much fucking weight. You look real goddamn good.
Then a 212 I weighed in yesterday.
Yeet.
So that's 48 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, I could pull it up if you want. It's
Yeah,
a real
let's see it.
interesting experience.
Let's see it.
I've never done this before. The YouTube within a YouTube.
YouTube and YouTube.
Bro. This is interesting.
And this is our shit, YouTube, so don't fucking copyright us on our own video, you assholes.
Actually, how do I do that? I go here.
You guys know how we're starting to break through because they're hitting us with fucking copyrights like almost on the daily now.
Almost
They're
on a
just
daily.
finding different reasons to fucking bone us. So everybody who's been riding here for a while, everybody who's been in it, you guys are real ride or dies. And when we break
we go.
through, we're fucking taking you guys with us.
So it brings us right to it, too.
Thank you very much,
I
Kevin.
think
You,
he
sir.
might be a little bit of a
Look
shill,
at
but-
Oh,
Donovan.
yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Old school. Back in the mini studio.
Yeah, that's other studio. A lot of the shit looks real familiar, but
Oh, yeah. And now look at you.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
and I think that was around like because it was when I was lifting with John that I was at my heaviest, and I was lifting fat stacks of weight.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was deadlifting like over 300, and I was squatting almost 300.
Thick
Like
boy.
I was putting up fucking weight, but yeah, I also weighed 260 pounds. So yeah, no, I'm happier at 212.
Yeah.
So I told you I almost fucking threw up at the gym the other day because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get after the assault bike first thing in. It was rough distance. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you. Like I said, congratulations you too. You're out here balling all the time. I see it. I saw you lift another day. I'm into it.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah, I'm into that.
And that, to segue back to the manosphere,
Manosphere.
is generally speaking an aspect of the manosphere. But I would also like to,
I
because
left my
manosphere,
fucking notes at the house.
about the
My
manosphere,
manosphere notes. I had them
it's
written
more
down
of
on
a
card.
general conversational topic. The manosphere also includes people like Jordan B. Peterson, right? Anybody who is generally talking to young men, trying to advocate for young men to do
Right.
better in life, to be able to get active. What color jersey are you wearing?
for soccer.
Oh.
He wants to know what color jerseys you guys are wearing on Monday.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, the schedules come out today.
Yeah, and I have bad news.
Oh, what's the first one?
The first one is we have a bye week the first week.
So you don't even play week 1?
No. That's a whole thing. So the people that need to know are all going to come to the soccer field tomorrow to play around. So,
my God.
and then I'm going to go in because I'm a little nervous about it.
You
but
got a whole week to figure it out, Trent. Don't worry
yeah,
about
don't
it.
worry about it. Generally speaking,
That
Trenton,
is
to answer your
absolutely
question,
hilarious.
it is generally speaking a dark or light color. So you just wear like a black or white, or bring both of those, and then depending on what the other team's doing, they'll tell us to go light or go dark.
I want you to make the deepest cutoffs that you've ever seen.
The deepest cutoffs.
Yeah, like
Jeans?
no. yeah. I want you to wear a cutoff shirt and cutoff jean shorts.
Montana's airspace has been shut down.
Yo, that's what I
Bilbo
was just
Swaggins.
saying. That's what
right.
I was just fucking saying, right? Out here. Confirmed by Bilbo Swaggins. That, to me, is a legitimate source. So I'm here for it.
Yeah. Bilbo lives under the hill, so
Yeah.
he knows what's up.
What the fuck, dude?
It's... Can you say World War III?
Like, does this just happen? That's what I'm saying earlier. Does this just happen all the time and we've been ignoring it for a long time? Or is it just now that it's kicking off because I don't know. Like, this seems so weird.
I think it's kicking off. I don't know. I mean, you saw Kareem Jean-Pierre earlier in the show try to say that this is something that happened 3 times during the Trump administration, and she couldn't even get through a real sentence without just going into word salad. So it's a thing, I think, that they're just trying to justify their actions for failure to do anything about it the first week when everybody saw it. And now we're not playing that shit, and shit's going down well before, all this shit's happening. So I don't think this is a good sign. We'll put it that way.
No.
I think it's a massive escalation. We just fired off that goddamn ICBM into the middle of the Pacific, and I don't think that's how you generally deal with China.
We don't look like a world leader. You know what I'm saying? When you're firing off ICBMs to try and prove point.
Yeah, like, no, we're America. We pretty good at nuking shit, okay? Don't ask us to do some saber rattling here. Okay, let's go back to the manosphere, right?
Manosphere.
So Kevin says, men are desperate for a positive word, whether it's from Tate or Peterson, it doesn't matter. Media in Hollywood took away all strong male role models, so now men will follow anyone who tells them that that it's okay to be a man. Masculinity has been destroyed over the last 40 years, and now we are seeing the result of weak men. I 100% agree with you, Kevin.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. Essentially, when JVP started to make his big debut and came out with 12 rules, started that whole thing, he was labeled misogynist, sexist, terrible, terrible, terrible. And looking at the diverse crowds in the audience from even when we went to go see him, I don't see that being the case, obviously.
All colors and genders were present at the Jordan B.
Indeed.
Peterson.
And everything in between, because this was Seattle, and the betweens were there.
The betweenuses were there.
Yes, and there was not a fucking bunch of protesters and none of this shit. I mean, the reason these people have become popular is obviously there is a cultural need for this to happen. I don't think you need to look very far throughout our society to realize that this need has been building. The weak men theory is, it's right there. It's very, very, very easy to see this, especially with the rise of like 4th or 5th wave fucking feminism, whatever the hell you call this thing.
3rd and 4th, I think we're in now. Yeah.
And it's not good to be seeing this kind of thing. And when men are the betweenies, it's a really bad sign to see the emasculation of men really being put forth as a mainstream cultural touchstone.
Right.
And when that happens, there's going to be a large group of men who go along with that, and they become incredibly emasculated.
The white knights. The soy boy beta cucks.
Soy boy beta cucks, baby. And that's when you see the rise. It's the old pendulum swinging thing. When things go far this way, there's a rise in this thing. And this is why you see the rise of Andrew Tate, former kickboxing champion, all this stuff getting on there. What he generally says is true. I mean, the way he says it is pretty fucked up. And he does have some rather blatantly misogynistic views that he sugarcoats on top of that. But his generalized message of be active, be assertive, work out, take care of things that are your responsibility, and then step up and play the game.
He
Like,
talks a lot about gender roles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like there are cores there are elements of truth to a lot of what he says. Like
Yes.
you said, coded in shit that sounds terrible.
Yes,
and
100%.
even when he's talking about the roles that that he says that he has in his house, bitches making him 2 coffees and like all this type of stuff. Like these are
Like, that's not good.
in my mind. I'm not that they may very well be happening, but exaggerations of like dynamics of respect that traditionally people had laid out. And I don't. So it doesn't sound good, but there's elements of truth to a lot of that stuff, and a lot of it boils down to respect and people feeling like they're being respected. And they talk a lot about, like, he's talked about like body counts of women and stuff like that. I'm gonna write a body count for her, like shit like that, right? Again, it sounds terrible, but there is a definite reality to this swing of feminism that came with women should be able to do whatever they want, and there should be no difference here, and like that's fine. You can say whatever you want there, but there is
but combine that with the fact that most people are totally and utterly fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's going to create a giant realm within the population that are making really stupid decisions as far as their sexual life is carrying on and how they
Right.
want to do this,
And as
which is
far
not
as-
a good look for anybody.
Right. And as far as finding a mate, there is a reality that you reap what you sow. And if you, on either side, rack up a huge body count, there are going to be people that do or don't like that.
Yes.
And that is a reality that you have to live with. And like I said, that applies to both people or to both sexes. It's in some cases unequally, but I think as time goes on, that inequality balances out, that there are more women that are less accepting of that type of shit from men than they used to be,
I mean, the big takeaways from the manosphere, when you pull away from all the bullshit involved, Kevin brings up a good idea. Like Andrew Tate, I think he definitely plays some form of character.
Oh,
He's got some
100%.
kind of persona that he pushes
100%.
out there. Who knows how much of that is a reality to his character or not? But when you really play it out there, what you're talking about is, as a man, being worthy of somebody, being worthy of respect from somebody that is also worthy of respect. Just because he's walking next to you.
See what's going on.
The blind dog just got in her personal space. It's not
She's
not
such a
okay, dog.
dick.
I know. She's old.
I love her.
But she's a dick. Yeah, that's what happened. She got old lady syndrome. And so it's and unfortunately I'd say the problem with the majority of the manosphere content that's put out there is, I believe, in my opinion, it creates kind of a antagonistic relationship between the sexes.
Yes.
Where somebody, an incel man, an involuntary celibate man, somebody who cannot, for a multitude of reasons, find a girl, find a mate, whatever it is going to gain resentment towards women. And it's not going to help when they're on TikTok spreading a bunch of stupid shit, and there's a bunch of dumbass people out there talking about
Right.
body count, talking about how they don't respect men, blah, 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 doing all this and that.
Or talking about you, if you don't make this amount a year, don't even talk to me. Or like
Exactly.
all the videos that guy on the manosphere was pulling up. Like those are real videos. Those are real
videos.
TikToks that girls are
Yes.
actually making. That women are actually making, that are degrading to men, that are degrading to their
Yes.
their masculinity, to their confidence, to everything. And
Yep.
if that is what you're seeing, and that's so consistently, you're not even going to want to step out of anything, especially because your whole world is probably on your phone, especially through COVID and everything.
Oh my
That's
God, yeah.
fucking Spencer, all those people that we know, that dating is just through the phone now. It's just all on the internet,
Yep.
And
And
I
that-
was trying to talk to Jordan about, I was talking about the new show we're going to do at the house, and I was like, yeah, we're going to go through the DMs and like fire off this and this. And so we were talking about, like, I can't imagine having to try and meet women on the internet. So that's just so not who I am, that I would be so unsuccessful if that's how things are going. Is that just, I don't communicate on the internet well. That's not how it works for me. So it just isn't, it's not good. And so they're tapping into, like you're saying, these feelings, this deep-seated emotions that all of these guys are having, and it's giving them an outlet that is not necessarily healthy. I totally agree with the character thing. I told you, Andrew Tate has been on like Your Mom's House.
Yeah.
You know, if Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky thought that he was like an actual, real misogynist and really degraded women, they wouldn't have him on the show. They're not stupid.
Christina would not stand for that
They're
shit.
not stupid.
She'd
they
beat
are
the
not
fuck out of
dumb.
that boy.
And when they were there and
Mom's
they're talking
hot.
to him about, you know, sparkling water and 2 coffees and all this type of shit, like he's cracking, he's laughing, you know,
Yeah.
and then we'll pick back up with what he's saying.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's also made the same type of statements of like, you can love me or you can hate me, but you're going to talk about me either way. I don't care if you're talking shit about me, you're talking about me.
Yeah.
So
Tell me that's not a planned situation.
to him, it doesn't matter,
No.
and especially from somebody who was like a champion kickboxer at one point and is like a chess whatever the fuck, you know, he already has confidence and has a whole person. He knows who he is. So
Yeah.
people could talk shit about him for all the rest of his life, and
He
it won't.
don't give a
It will
shit.
not affect who he is and
No.
who he knows he is, because he's actually knocked people out for a living. Like he's done real shit, you know.
Yeah, with his shins. So there was one aspect I wanted to add to like the incel thing, and if you're somebody like that follows the Manosphere YouTube channel, because we watched all those fucking TikToks, man, it was a wild endeavor.
Yeah, was
but
a
if
lot.
but if you're
Free
one of
Andrew
those
Tate,
guys,
Trent says.
free Andrew Tate,
That's what Trent said.
free Andrew Tate. Trenton says, "Hey man, as far as I'm
From
concerned,
Romanian prison.
the dude is in Romanian prison. He hasn't been charged with anything."
He's just was arrested on suspicion of these things.
Yes, because in Romania apparently they can do that. So
I bet.
as far as I'm concerned, free Andrew Tate until I see some kind of evidence.
It's
he
funny.
had 2 witnesses that came out and spoke in his defense.
Yeah.
Women that work for him that said, no, we are not sexual prisoners. We work for him openly. We do this, we do that. And he's not coming after us. And the judge says, well, you're brainwashed, so your testimony doesn't count, and he threw it out of court.
It's funny that Andrew Tate said he lives in Romania because it's freer. And now
There's
that
trade-offs,
he's been
baby.
arrested.
There
he's
are
like-
trade-offs.
He's fucked.
Yeah, he probably will not get out of that jail cell.
That's pretty funny.
But you know, to an incel guy or somebody that is down on confidence, is overweight,
Yes.
unproductive, when they get on TikTok or social media and what they see is, you know, the thing that's going to capture them is these women talking about how terrible he is.
Yeah.
And then the algorithm is going to feed him more of this. And next thing you know, his picture towards all women is going to be that all women are the devil and they hate me and they fucking fuck them. You know, I don't need this. Why would I need this? I'm not
Right.
going to deal with this. And it paints this picture, broad stroke, of what women in general are like. When in reality, if he was to become productive, responsible, you know, gain some confidence within himself, and you were just out in the world making your way around, you could meet people and, you know, things could happen or not happen or whatever. I mean, depending on what it is that you're looking for,
Right.
you need to be looking for something. You can't just, you can't rely on a fucking social media app to deliver you a wife.
Right. There is a sense of entitlement on both sides, from like you said, from men who just expect that it will just happen that way, and then from women who believe that they can set any arbitrary standard and that I deserve this and I should be able to do whatever I want, like we were talking about earlier, and then I can just go back to this later. And like it doesn't work that way. You don't get to set your own standards for other people and expect them to just immediately conform to them.
Yes.
And you're not entitled to a partner. You're not entitled to other people. You're not entitled to sex or dates or anything.
No.
You don't have any entitlement to other people.
No.
You have to earn that type of shit from somebody else.
Yes. Both parties need to be somebody worth respecting.
Right.
That is the key. If you are not worth respecting, no one's going to respect you. How can you ever expect to get anybody romantically involved with you that doesn't respect you? If you're not somebody worth respecting, then you're not going to get that. And if you're on the female side, if you're somebody that is not worth respecting, why would you expect a guy to come along who's going to respect you?
Right.
It just does not work that way.
And that's the underlying message from all of those people. I
Speaking
think,
facts tonight, dude.
Yes, no, you're crushing it. From all those people, from Peterson to Tate to the Manosphere, that's the
Yeah.
underlying message. They're delivered in very different ways. You know, if you read a Jordan Peterson book like the 12 Rules for Life, it's apparent. He's telling you, I'm telling you in this book how to be a better man, how to be a
Yes.
good partner to the women that you want to attract, so you can attract
Somebody
a good
worth
woman.
getting.
Like, yes, he's telling you that boldly, and that's what Andrew Tate is telling you by who he is, because again, he's a fucking kickboxer, he's got money, he's
Yep.
the casinos, they're doing all of the things. Like, that's, even if he's an
He's
asshole,
a businessman. And
even if he's an asshole, he still is a person that is successful, that is confident, that is handsome, that is all of the things that a woman would want.
Yep.
Hoping that he's not an asshole. And in his real life, he probably isn't that big of a dick. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? He probably doesn't treat all of women like shit. Or
I
else,
would imagine.
right.
Because
Like,
whether or not going to work for him. Unless, of course, it's all sex trafficking, in case
That's-
he's rotting in a Romanian jail for
I
a reason.
think that there are probably, as much as people don't want to admit it, you know, he probably is interesting to be around. Like, his dad is a Grand Wizard chess champion, like all of this shit, you know.
Grandmaster?
Grandmaster. The wizard is not involved in there?
No.
I
Grand
feel-
Wizards are KKK
And I
members.
know that, but I feel like I thought that.
No, it's Grandmaster. Grandmaster champion.
you
Yes,
sure?
I'm 100% sure. I happen to have somebody in my my family who is I believe, a Grandmaster.
Get out of
Female.
here.
Yeah, chess player. Yeah,
All right,
that's
well.
the KKK, Donovan.
No,
there you
you're
go.
right.
Kevin's
No,
right.
You're right.
He's-
You're right. You're right.
Oh,
I
man.
looked up Wizard Chess Champion, and that's Gryffindor Wizards Chess. That's the first thing that came up. So it's probably
He's over there in Hogwarts. You can reload elf bars if you break them at the top of them. Oh, thanks, Alex. Alex, I'm telling you, Alex knows the vaping world inside and out. He's always been a clutch dude to have
There you go.
as a vaping
if you
partner.
break them open at the top.
Yeah, shout out,
what
Alex.
do you just refill it with juice?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's just cotton and shit. You just re-soak the cotton in the
Oh,
juice
okay.
and then do the thing. I've seen it done on the. I saw it done on anti-vaping ad where they popped it open and it was somebody with like they dried it out, they burnt the shit out of the cotton and stuff like that. You're just smoking fucking plastic.
Matt fucking
Rosedale.
Bilbo in here. Matt Rosedale, representative from Montana, made a statement about an object over Montana that could interfere with air traffic control.
I'm looking it up.
Let's go.
Matt Rosedale.
Yeah. So because it came from Josh, this topic about, while you're looking it up, about the manosphere, his question specifically was about like the downfalls of the manosphere, right? And I
Yeah.
think you talked about that there's like sins of entitlements that come out. That's not healthy for that to be the perspective that you are internalizing and like actuating as the way that you're going to operate with females, because that's not going to be successful. It's important to understand that those certainly entertain. I don't know about the manosphere people, but there's elements of truth to it to be taken from it. You should not be just like the manosphere dude or just like Andrew Tate. That's not Cobra Tate, top G. That's not what you want for yourself. That's
Top
not,
G.
Yeah, that's not how you're going to get it. You know, that these are internet characters. These are people that are trying to teach you lessons that you're supposed to be smart enough to pull from. You're supposed to not do Hustlers University or whatever the fuck he did, because that is a goddamn idiot multi-level marketing scheme. It's just no good, right?
Let's see, it's February 11th.
But there's good shit to be pulled from that.
They're talking about the one over Canada. U.S. military shoots down objects of territorial seas. Member said that the Biden administration needed to explain why 2 small objects were shot down while the Chinese spy craft flew over America last week. Can the Biden administration please? I don't think that's the most recent. Let me check his Twitter, because I imagine if he made a statement recently, it would be on Twitter.
Yeah.
Rosedale. Breaking fucking news. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm on his
Rosedale.
Twitter right now.
Matt Rosedale.
I'm on his Twitter right now.
Are
I'm
you?
in direct contact with NORCOM and monitoring the latest issue over Have and northern border. Airspace is closed due to an object that could interfere with commercial air traffic, and the DoD will resume efforts to observe and ground the object in the morning.
In the morning? That doesn't seem right. Why do I not have Matt Rosedale's Twitter come up when I search Matt Rosedale?
Rosendale.
Oh, Rosendale.
Yeah.
Rosendale. Oh, come on, Twitter. You can get me close enough.
Yeah,
Jesus
they're-
Christ.
Yeah, they're just trying to fuck you.
Yeah, they're just trying to fuck me.
His other tweet is, can the Biden administration please explain why they shot down 2 relatively small objects over Alaskan and Canadian airspace this week, but allowed a known Chinese spy balloon to collect and transmit data about our country for a week before it was brought down?
That's because don't look up. That's why. Because they didn't want you to know that it was there.
But then he says the DoD will resume efforts to observe and ground the object in the morning. Why
in the morning?
Shouldn't we do it right now then?
Yeah, what are we talking about
Right.
here? Can we not scramble?
I would,
This is fucking not good, dude.
would be demanding that we do it now.
We're scrambling air traffic over the United States airspace. This is not a good situation.
You can fly over Montana until tomorrow
Apparently.
at the earliest.
Yeah. This is very interesting.
Jesus Christ.
That's good. That's good. You ever wondered if Yeonmi Park ever would react to Andrew Schultz's heavy statements?
He had kind of intimated that she might be on the podcast soon.
Ooh.
And I was hoping that that was the case. Why? What do you got here?
I got this thing here that this is a clip from when he was on
Take that,
Rogan.
North Korean lady. That's a real story about struggle. That was the most entertaining, depressing fucking podcast, bro. Do you think it's all real?
Oh, it's 100% real. She's so small from lack of food.
Not all of her, Joe. I almost started making my girl eat rats after I saw her.
Oh my God.
I saw her talk on that podcast. All I ate is rats. I was like, oh, did ya?
Oh, did ya?
She came out of North Korea stacked.
I believe it. Don't get me wrong. But
Well, she reacted
don't
to this
you
part.
agree?
She
we don't
replied
know what's
from this
like over there
clip that
'cause
he
we
put
haven't
out.
gone. What if it's
laughing.
okay? What if it's Cleveland?
I love it.
You don't think it's possible? You don't think it's possible it's Cleveland?
There's been documented cases of cannibalism there.
If you
Did you watch that podcast?
Yes. Yeah.
It was fucking
I also
fantastic.
saw in her comments on Instagram the other day, she posted a picture of her as a kid, and there are people legit up in her comments like, "Oh, you look real fucking malnourished in this." Like, yeah, like in her comments accusing her of not having
Bro.
escaped from North Korea. And like, so you obviously haven't read her book, right? Because she says when she was like a little girl, her dad worked for the party,
Yeah.
and then he was like expelled from the party, and that's when they went into poverty, and that's
Yeah.
when they tried to escape. Like, you are a real fucking asshole.
You're
son.
a
That
real
is
piece of
wild.
shit.
Like, you really think that she's just gonna, I mean, not that people have not lied about shit, but for, I don't know, that's wild. There's a long time to keep up that I escaped and now I'm in a different country and I've written books, and like, that's just that's a heavy accusation from a baby picture where she isn't like tiny and bloated from malnutrition.
Yeah.
To believe that that means that she never needed to escape from North Korea,
No.
even though it's verified to be a horrifically fascist authoritarian
Yeah.
regime, right? Just because you're not tiny and minuscule when you're a baby, you have no reason to leave there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Dim Heavies do the speaking on that one, though.
Heavies.
Heavies.
From my understanding, she got those after she got here.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely my understanding.
Yeah, that's, like I said, he had hinted this week when I was watching it that she was going to be on soon, and that's, I can only
I
fucking
cannot
hope.
wait. Oh my god! Just
I
like
would
Bilbo, I
die.
can't wait to hear
Yeah,
for her to be on the podcast.
I will die if
That would be so amazing.
Oh, it'd
I
be
feel
great.
like she would have a fucking blast.
She'd probably be a great sport about it, too.
Amen. Amen, man. That's the best part about America, right? You can come in here and fuck around with each other.
Yes.
She enjoys, and she got a new book coming out. So
Yeah.
you know, I think this one is more. I don't know what this one's about. I mean, the other one was pretty autobiographical, so we'll see.
Dude, and it was
rough.
rough.
I'm glad the book club was not in swing at that point because you would have depressed all of us. With
We
that
did.
One.
That was book club.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was like the first one. I think
Oh.
was that one. We have a review, preview, and everything. It's dark. I read a little.
Hey man,
bit
we've been
from
doing
it.
this a long time. I remember it's not all that it was.
Yeah,
it didn't
I
take my
read-
alpha brain today.
I read a little bit from it, but some of it was so horrible that I just didn't. I didn't want to quote from it too much. It was
Yeah.
so fucked up. You know?
yeah. So we can hit let's talk about the Twitter whistleblower here in a
Okay.
second. But to generally segue into that, let's talk about something else that's been. I just want to give you an update and tell you how much more fire the new Twitter is compared to the old Twitter.
Okay.
Right. And this has to do with my near and dear friend Eliza Blue and the
Okay.
controversy around her. She had a tweet come out relatively recently. She said, "Today I've decided to change my story as a survivor."
Oh shit.
And if you guys if you have no idea who this is, I did a beer show a little bit about it a couple days ago, and it's been involved in this whole kind of center right-ish, center left-ish, internet circle for a while now. But she says, I've decided to change my story of a survivor. I've been abused a third time on a massive digital scale. It's called image-based sexual abuse. IBSA. She created an acronym for it. Every individual who knowingly profited off of this content without my consent has become my abuser in my story. So what she's talking about is all those music videos from World Star Hip Hop that went out that show her kind of in a sexual manner while she was, knowingly paid to do
all the
and
things
agreed
she
to do these
was
things.
paid to do.
Yes. And best thing about the new Twitter is that Twitter fired back. Reader added context.
That's awesome.
Said the recent events surrounding Eliza Blue do not meet the definition of image-based sexual abuse.
That is amazing.
All the content was consensually recorded, publicly produced, and initially consensually distributed. Consent cannot be withdrawn from this type of media after the fact.
Oh, fuck.
So she getting now lit the fuck up now. She's getting lit the fuck up. Jeremy and Tim Pool have officially kissed and made up. They're homies again, and everybody's agreed that we should do this thing. And Tim's addressed this thing on his show now, and everything's cool in the internet again. We're all moving forward because we have bigger problems.
She said something else.
She says, you didn't fight censorship. You fought to exploit me. Nude, partially nude, sexually suggestive content without my consent. If you would have asked, I wouldn't have consented. You believe that I consented previously, so you decided to take my body and use it for your gain.
Even though she was paid for it.
Yes. So to prove that I am not a survivor, many made me a victim again. You can never say that I'm not a survivor of exploitation now because you made me one again. You didn't fight to expose government malfeasance or tech censorship. You fought to post my body without consent.
What the fuck?
This is a story of, she's in her early 40s, I believe, at this point, or I believe early 40s. I think she's 41, supposedly. Nobody really knows how old she is. But this is somebody who, generally a Gen Xer, who kind of didn't understand the rules of the internet and is now realizing full stop what the rules of the internet are. And it's coming back to bite her on the ass because she regrets some of the things that she did when she was younger, these music videos, and now people are posting them, and she does not want people to post those anymore because she doesn't understand how the legal system works and how the internet works. And when you put a music video on the internet, it lives forever.
Right.
When you put
Go in the Wayback Machine.
this is how this happens. I mean, World Star Hip Hop they are the license holder of this thing. They have the contracts on file that say that you consented to do these things and we paid you to do these things and we are the owner of this property. It is not yours. Done.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, but the reason, like, even Tim Pool got involved at this point is that she's been on tirade. She originally started with getting people banned off of Twitter, and now she's gone into hyperactive mode, and they're pulling people's YouTube videos where they're talking about this.
Right.
And it's gotten even worse than it was a week ago. So, but now the internet is more or less banded together to tell her to go fuck herself because you need to learn how the internet works, sweetheart. I'm sorry. If you don't want those images around, there are legal avenues you could do to take those off the internet. You can petition World Star Hip Hop to take them down, and then they can. But if you make a movie, if you're an actress or an actor and you star in a movie, and then 10 years later that movie's fucking terrible, and you don't like the way you look in it, you can't take the movie down.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how any of this thing works, man. I'm sorry. So,
is she trying to sue these people, or she's just saying...
I mean, she said that there was going to be legal ramifications, and she's going to, hold them to full extent of the law. But
it's going to be a waste of money.
Every lawyer on fucking legal YouTube has been like, there's no case here. Sorry. Everything has been shared publicly. It's a whole 9 yards. So, we'll see what happens. But this is, it's a drama that's been mostly provocated by Twitter, through Twitter bans, which have then spread to YouTube and YouTube bans and all this stuff. So, in that note, talk to me about this Twitter whistleblower that's been going on.
It's the hearing, right? The hearing
Yeah.
of the Twitter whistleblowers, and it was
Because I've got some videos from the hearing, but it's with Vigigati and fucking piece of shit Yoel Roth.
and he was there. They were all there together.
Together.
Right? Yeah. So there was another person. I don't remember her name. I have to find the.
I got no beer. I got no beers.
Should message your wife.
I
You
mean,
want me
you
to
should
get-
talk for 5
do
seconds.
you- yeah.
I'm gonna go
no,
get a
you're
beer.
right. I'm trying to find the article that I had here because
buddy.
because it was a Washington Post. There it is. Republicans aided because we covered the Twitter files here. Certainly the first few portions of the Twitter files. So we know, right, actively, excuse me. We know the federal government, both parties, colluded with various social media companies to actively censor private individuals and the information they were able to share on the internet and the information that we were all able to, therefore, take in, right? So we know that to be true. And this article that I am going to send to Colin is entitled GOP Lawmakers Allege Big Tech Conspiracy Even as Ex-Twitter Employees Rebuke Them. So there was a hearing with multiple people who used to work at Twitter, and that is what Colin was talking about, in which they spun a narrative essentially that the Twitter files are bullshit and that it was, mostly Republicans that were doing it, and it's all for the greater good that they were doing this type of censorship. So,
It's for the greater good. If it
Yeah.
could save one life,
yeah, precisely. So I sent you this article, and we can go ahead and read it.
read it. Oh, they got me, sons of bitches. I believe. Oh, I can't even copy paste the text. I believe I actually have a WAPO thing.
Yeah,
Give me a second.
it's okay. I will start to read it. So, soon after Elon Musk took over Twitter, he began promoting screenshots of internal company documents that he said exposed free speech suppression on social media platform during the 2020 election. Republicans were thrilled. On Wednesday, Musk's, quote, Twitter files were center stage in a combative Capitol Hill hearing as GOP leaders attempted to turn Twitter's decision to briefly block sharing a New York Post story about President Biden's son into evidence of a broad conspiracy. Okay, we know that there was a broad conspiracy. Like I
Yes.
just said, we saw the Twitter files. So
Oh, shush, bud. So that is the cat. just-
Jesus, meow.
if she touches him, he starts screaming. Hi, meow. And because he's like a whiny little bitch who runs away from her, predator instinct kicks in, and
Oh,
she goes,
yeah.
"We're gonna play now."
She's terrible.
She is. She's a kick in the pants.
Yeah.
Oy, all right, cat. You go that way. I'm trying to resubscribe for some reason to the. No, I don't want to fucking resubscribe.
Yeah, no, I have it. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. After the show,
Fuck
I'll give you
Washington
my
Post.
sign in for that, and the New York Times. Don't
I
worry about
thought
it.
I had it.
I thought that I had given it to you already.
Yeah.
But either way, I'll get you signed into both of them, and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay.
Until then, I will just read this, and we'll
Do it.
We'll go from there. Conservatives have. We know that as far as the New York Post story goes, that directly had to do with the federal government. Like the FBI came in and told Twitter they needed to be on the lookout for, all of this friggin' what are they called? The stolen material. Like
Yes.
that this was hacked material that was going to come out, and so they lied to them directly.
They lied to them.
Yes. Conservatives have long argued that Silicon Valley favors Democrats by systematically suppressing right-wing viewpoints on social media. These allegations have evolved in a nearly half-decade of warnings as politicians in Washington and beyond fixate on the industry's communication. Look at you. Fixate on the industry's communications with the FBI and Democratic leaders seeking to cast the opposing party as against free speech. Both parties are against free speech. The Democratic Party definitely is against free speech.
Yes. Unless it's their speech. Then they
Twitter.
get all uppity.
Twitter was a private company that the federal government used to do what it cannot: limit the constitutional free exercise of speech, said House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, flanked by a poster displaying the New York Post story. He added the committee now knows all of this because of Elon Musk, joining a chorus of Republicans praising the mercurial billionaire throughout the hearing. The testimony of former Twitter executives repeatedly contradicted those accusations. Still, so people who had a financial incentive at the time to to do these things. Like they're getting paid to do them. So
Yes.
of course they're going to contradict. They're going to try and contradict somebody who is attacking them for doing those things.
I
It
think
made sense to them at the time.
We talked about that, I believe, when we were talking about the Twitter files, where the FBI was literally paying Twitter to do these things.
Yes.
And in some cases, they didn't take the money for a while, and then they started to take the money and cash the checks.
The testimony of former Twitter executives repeatedly contradicted these accusations. Still, Republicans plowed ahead with unsubstantial allegations of collusion between government officials and the company's old regime. Okay,
Unsubstantial.
Again, there was a literal portal that they could access, just like there was at Facebook. We saw these things. We saw emails. They had private communications between whatever this other app was that they were talking about, that Luna was talking about.
I believe I have the clip.
Let's
do.
see the clip.
Let's see the
Let's
clip.
see the clip. Let's see the Luna clip.
I gotta grab the cat. I'm gonna switch away so I don't show you
Potato
guys
head.
the wrong ones. That's the AOC one. Oh, that's a volcano exploding.
That's a volcano. There she is.
Yes, Miss Luna brought the receipts.
Let's go.
This is my future ex-wife.
Mr. Roth,
Of course, she had to be
have
Spanish.
you communicated with government officials ever on a platform called Jira?
Jira.
Jira.
Yes or no?
She got the receipts.
Real quick answer. We're on the clock.
Not
Yes
to
or
the
no?
best of my recollection.
Not to your
no.
recollection? Great. If you did, in the event, communicate, who would have had access to this platform?
Me.
That's the nature of my confusion.
Okay.
Jira is,
Did you ever speak to government officials on Jira regarding taking down social media posts?
again, not to the best of my recollection.
Can you explain to me why the federal government would ever have interest in communicating through Jira, mind you, a private cloud server, with social media companies without oversight to censor American voices? I want to let you know that this is a violation of the First Amendment, and the federal government is colluding with social media companies to censor Americans. Mr. Chairman,
talking
I
about
ask
the
for unanimous
intelligence
consent
agency.
to submit these graphics into record. And Mr. Roth, I'm going to refresh your memory for you.
Gotcha, bitch.
This flowchart
Without objection,
behind
it's
me.
ordered.
Thank you, Chair. This flowchart shows the following federal agencies, social media companies, Twitter,
And that's a
leftist
conversation
nonprofits,
between
and organizations
Yoel Roth,
communicating
right,
regarding
and
their
somebody who
version
works
of
for the federal government.
misinformation.
Yep.
Talking about banning shit on a private messaging service. That's
right.
Why in the world is the federal government not using formal communications if they're acting on behalf of the federal government? Why
Using
would they
Jira,
need to
a
use some
private
type of
cloud
private
server.
messaging server, a private cloud server? Why? Why would they need to do that?
Because it's blatantly unconstitutional.
On this
and
chart, I
illegal.
want to annotate that the Department of Homeland Security, which has the following branches: Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA,
CISA.
Countering Foreign Intelligence Task Force, now known as the Misinfo, Disinfo, and Malinformation, MDM. This was again used against the American people. The Election Partnership Institute, or Election Integrity
Move your fat
Partnership,
head,
EIP, which includes the following: Stanford Internet Observatory, University of Washington Center for Informed Public,
Why are
Graphica,
UW
and
always
Atlantic
involved?
Council's
Why?
Digital Forensic Research Lab, and potentially, according to what we found on the final report by EIP, the DNC. The Center for Internet Security,
Damn.
CIS, a nonprofit funded by DHS, the National Association of Secretaries of State, also known as NASS, and the National Association of State Election Directors, NASED. And in this case, because there are other social media companies involved, Twitter. What do all of these groups, though, have in common? And I'm going to
Just want to reiterate, there are other social media companies involved, but because this is a Twitter hearing, this is Twitter. If I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you don't for a second realize that YouTube, Google, Meta are all involved in the same exact thing, you're
Yes.
fucking lying to yourself. There's zero reason why Twitter would be the only one.
No, and again,
To
like
again
you said,
refresh your-
with the case of Google or with the case of Facebook, we saw again another portal.
Yeah.
You had to have a government email address to be able to access.
And I guarantee you that portal was run through Jira. I guarantee you it was all run through Jira.
Yeah.
Let's
your
let
memory,
Midland finish.
they
here.
were all communicating on a private cloud server known as Jira. Now, the screenshot behind me,
You got a screenshot
which
there.
is an example of one of thousands, shows on November 3rd, 2020, that you, Mr. Roth, a Twitter employee, were exchanging communications on Jira, a private cloud server, with CISA, NASS, NASED, and Alex Stamos, who now works at Stanford and is a former security officer at Facebook, to remove a posting. Do you now remember communicating on a private cloud server to remove a posting?
It's not a good look.
Yes or no?
I wouldn't agree with the characterization.
I don't care if you
that
agree.
this-
Do you, this is your stuff. Yes or no? Did you communicate with a private entity, the government agency, on a private cloud server? Yes or no?
The question was if I
Yes or
communicated
no? Yeah,
directly.
I'm on time. Yes or no?
Ma'am, I don't believe I can give you a yes or no.
Well,
answer
I'm
to
going
that
to tell
question.
you right now that you did, and we have proof of it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is joint action between the federal government and a private company to censor and violate the First Amendment. This is also known, and I'm so glad that there's many attorneys on this panel, joint state actors. It's highly illegal. You are all engaged in this action, and I want you to know that you will be all held accountable. Ms. Gaddy, are you still on CISA's Cybersecurity Advisory Council? Yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Okay. For those who have said that this is a pointless hearing, and I just want to let you guys all know, we found that Twitter was indeed communicating with the federal government to censor Americans. I'd like to remind you that this was all in place before January 6th. So to say that these mechanisms weren't in place and to make it about January 6th, I want to let you know that you guys were actually in control of all of the content, and clearly we have proof of that. Now, if you don't think that this
Not
is
wrong.
important to your constituents and the American people from
Good job, Rep Luna.
It also means all of the organizing and everything that happened over social media that they claimed, that the social media companies claimed to have no idea about and no way to do anything about, is complete bullshit.
Yep.
They were watching it the entire time, and they chose to do nothing about it. They chose to allow the organization to happen. They chose to allow these things to foment,
Interesting.
and they did nothing.
Why does that always happen?
Yeah.
Like the federal government knows about these things. They choose to do nothing about it, and they let it happen, and then they take action afterwards. It's pretty fire. It's pretty fire.
You love it.
You love to see it.
Do you have more lies?
I have more lies. Do you have
Excuse
more
me.
lies?
Let's see it.
I do. This is AOC, and she's about to.
Do you think AOC is hot?
No,
You don't think so?
no, I'm not an AOC fan.
Let me hear it in the chat.
So they've dragged a social media platform here in Congress.
I'm into
They're
it.
weaponizing the use of this committee.
I'm not like she's not
So
like
that
a
they can
dime or
do it
anything,
again. A whole hearing about a 24-hour hiccup in a right-wing political operation. That is why we are here right now. And it's just an abuse of public resources, an abuse of public time. We could be talking about health care. We could be talking about
But she's
bringing down the
Latina
cost of
too.
prescription drugs. We could be talking about abortion rights, civil rights, voting rights. But instead, we're talking about Hunter Biden's half-fake laptop story. I mean, this is an embarrassment.
Also, it's not a half-fake laptop
Right, what's
story.
fake about it?
You explain to me what's fake about it. I'd be really interested to hear that.
Because I haven't seen anything come out that directly refutes it. Because
No.
you said that even his lawyers are investigating the people who released it, right?
Yes.
So
So it's they got nothing to stand on. They got nothing to say, and so they just have to go to like this. This is ridiculous. I don't know what we're doing here. AOC doesn't have. She has no concept or understanding of what's actually happening here. And I believe
she doesn't even know why she's there.
she doesn't even know why
You're not
she's
even
there.
supposed to be here today.
We should be talking about LGBTQ rights. We should be talking about abortion rights. Well, we're at a Twitter hearing, so we're going to have the Twitter hearing.
She said, "Why are we talking about free speech? That's horseshit."
But she's Latina too, and this is true.
And that doesn't do it for you.
She doesn't do it for me. There's something about I don't know. There's something about you know how like there's the meme of your eyes are too close together. You can wear one goggle when you go swimming in the pool. And she got the opposite problem. I think she got ear eyes. Something about
They're too far.
she just
apart, you
doesn't
think?
do it for me. You
Right.
know, she's not ugly, but just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Is this Yoel Roth?
This is Yoel Roth.
Consequences for this type of online harassment and speech.
Oh, I must say, those are very real consequences.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Twitter files were not just about Hunter Biden's laptop. Twitter worked overtime to suppress accurate COVID information. Apparently, the views of a Stanford doctor are disinformation to you people. I, along
looks
with many
terrified.
Americans, have long-term effects from COVID. Not only was I a long hauler, but I have effects from the vaccine. It wasn't the first shot, but it was the second shot that I now developed asthma that has never gone away since I had the second shot. I have tremors in my left
here
hand,
goes us. Good
and I
thing
have
we're
the
at the
occasional
end of the
heart
show.
pain that no doctor can explain. And I've had a battery of tests I have great regrets about getting the shot because of the health issues that I now have that I don't think are ever going to go away. Where did you go to medical school?
I did not go to medical school.
I'm sorry?
I did not go to medical school.
That's what I thought. Why do you think you or anyone else at Twitter have the medical expertise to censor a doctor's expert
Fucking
opinion?
drama on this
It's
is so
really
high.
Policies regarding COVID were designed to protect individuals. We were seeing
You guys censored Harvard-educated doctors, Stanford-educated doctors, doctors that are educated in the best places in the world, and you silenced those voices. You're not a doctor, right, Ms. Gaddy?
No, I'm not.
Okay. What makes you think you or anyone else?
Well, you get the point.
Shit. Yeah, the music. It's
music's
like
rough.
a Jaws attack.
Yeah.
My God.
But obviously, this hearing did not go so well for those people, and it shouldn't have. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. These people have been doing terrible, terrible things to Americans and their free speech over the last number of years. So, I like what did Luna call them? Their governmental collaborators or something like that. I mean, they are directly responsible for breaking the law.
Joint
collaborators with the U.S. government in
Yeah.
this. So it's not just the government at fault here. It's them for allowing it to happen. When the government comes to you and asks you to do something unconstitutional, it is your duty and proper, it's your right and duty as an American to say,
Yes.
no, I will not do that.
1,000%.
Otherwise, you are just as liable as the U.S. government that asked you to do that. Peace. Mic drop.
I like it.
So that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
That's all I got. Is there any more Twitter stuff that you want to show me?
Just wanted to show you this one really cool thing about a volcano exploding. And we'll end on that. You ever seen a real volcano explode?
No.
Ba-boom.
I've seen like Mount St. Helens, but not. It wasn't.
This
like
is a
that.
lava one.
Yeah.
And then watch the entire mountainside just light on fucking fire.
Oh shit.
That is crazy. It's a
Those are people driving at the bottom?
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are crazy.
It's a little farther away than the
Oh,
road.
yeah, I
but,
guess that makes sense.
Yeah, this is in Japan, one of the Japanese
What
islands.
the fuck?
It just went kaboom.
And that's it, huh?
Earthquakes in fucking Turkey and Syria. We've got UFOs flying in from all sorts of different directions in the American airspace, and we got a giant ass fucking volcano exploding in Japan. It's going to be a good year.
I was just thinking about a volcano, like a mountain with a bunch of fucking lava inside of it.
It's a weird deal, man.
Yeah, that just hangs out. Like that's just weird. We all know all these people.
That's
They
what
know,
they are, right?
They know that it's a volcano,
Yep.
and they just still have a society that's built around it.
Yeah,
that
man.
is a extreme fucking concept.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Mount Rainier is a volcano too, right? It's just they don't expect it to explode anytime soon.
Yes. But again, like what's soon? Because I'm fairly sure it's one of those.
Because it could, right? If shit just started popping off, like it could explode.
100% it could explode.
If there was some like deep tectonic plates that shifted, because there's plates at different depths, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows
about that. I ain't no geologist.
Answer
bro.
my question.
So this
No.
is Kyushu Island. This is the southern island. It's one of the big southern islands of Japan, where that volcano erupted. So it's a pretty big island, but it ain't that big. All those islands are formed from fucking volcanoes. That's how they became a thing. So that's
Oh my God, that's
where you're at.
right.
I mean,
You're
what do you
right.
think Hawaii is, bro?
So are there
small ass volcanoes?
So are there volcanoes on all of those islands then?
Yeah, in Japan.
Just bigger or smaller,
Yeah.
depending on.
Yeah, because not all land masses are volcanic
But
islands,
those
but
ones.
those are volcanic islands. Hawaii,
That's
pretty much any
crazy.
island in the Pacific are
Look how
volcanic
tiny
islands.
that is.
It's just okay. So
compared to the rest of the United
So
States.
there's
we just
Kyushu
have this
Island over here,
small-ass
right?
island. Dude, I'd be pissed if I was them
and
too.
then there's Hawaii, which
Yeah.
are all. I mean, these are like one volcano islands. They're not real big, bro.
The map, I mean, as it's supposed to, that maps make you think that Hawaii is way closer to the United States.
Middle of
but
fucking
it's, like,
nowhere, bro.
Really, really far away.
It's damn near almost exactly in the middle of the Pacific.
I would be really pissed too if I was them. They'd be like, you guys are this far away and supposedly we're fucking part of you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Not even Cuba is part of you, bitches.
Yeah. Japan over there doing its own shit.
Yeah.
We're just over here, part of fucking America. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed too.
I mean, by all rights, if location was the key, if you're not your own sovereign nation, then you should, by all rights, belong to Mexico.
Dude.
But hey,
right? We're like, no way. That's.
I
ours.
mean, I'm no defender of colonization, but I enjoy Hawaii, so I'll take it.
do you know how we didn't steal it? Did we get it from the British? How did we come upon
No,
Hawaii?
we straight up
We stole it from them?
that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, we stole that shit.
I know I
wouldn't be
learned
surprised if we got it through the British somehow, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, yeah, no, we raped and pillaged and conquered.
Because I remember the
as per
story, like
usual.
Captain Cook going there, so I remember him being there, and I'm sure I learned at one point of precisely how that happened. Like I
Yeah.
remember they were still running like kings and queens and stuff. They
Yeah.
had like a queen and all that.
Yep.
And we were like, that we had just probably colonized there, and then eventually we were like, when she's dead, we'll just handle it. Yeah,
we'll just handle it. Yeah. So let's just do the
We
Cliff
invaded
Notes version.
the Hawaiian Kingdom with just cause. That's awesome.
Without just cause. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In 1893, United States troops invaded the Hawaii Kingdom without just cause, which led to a conditional surrender of the Hawaiian Kingdom's executive monarch, Her Majesty Queen Liliuokalani, the following day. So yeah, the illegal overthrow of Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, how are you gonna not, right? If you are
What are you gonna do?
that many dudes,
Yeah,
like
it's America. They all
And the-
show up in the fucking
No.
longships and
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the complexity of their warfare was at the time that we rolled over there. You know,
It was probably pretty one-sided.
yeah.
I imagine some people had guns and the other ones didn't. And I imagine that's how that went, which, doesn't work so well when you're a small island nation that can completely be surrounded by naval bombardment.
Right. That's fucked.
Yeah, pretty fucked. So, but hey, look, there's a bunch of resorts there now. Yay,
Yeah.
America.
Let me ask you about one more thing.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk about Disney, and now it's a very small point, right?
Yes.
Disney Plus lost like almost
Hemorrhaged.
3 million subs, right?
Hemorrhaged
They're going to
subs.
lay off like 7,000 people.
Yep.
Do you remember, did you ever see the show The Proud Family when you were younger?
No.
So The Proud Family was on when I was a kid, and it was a show about a black family, and it was like definitely about black culture, but there was not any of like the woke shit that is up in it now, right? But Disney has now put out a new season. Disney Plus has put out a new season of The Proud Family.
I've seen a clip of this on Twitter.
It is horrific.
There's like a scene where like a white dad is given
Robin DiAngelo's
yes,
book. Yes.
yes.
Okay. So it gets like way worse than that.
Great.
Jordan was reading me an article about it earlier, and it's like the students, the black students are talking about how like they deserve reparations. They learn their town is built by slaves, and so they go on a whole deal. And so black people are, deserve reparations. And there's like, she was reading me quotes from the children, because they're children. They're in high school, about like, we have earned reparations and we continue to earn reparations every day that we live under this oppressive regime. And they're hosting, there's like an Abraham Lincoln monument, and they host a peaceful protest to try and get the monument taken down. And when that happens,
Is it in the show?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
On Disney Plus. When they do this, the police show up in riot gear, and the mayor is there, and he says, arrest these people and no pictures, please. And it's like a whole deal. They make a music video. That's the kids make a music video, and
Straight up propaganda.
Yeah. And they have like real life pictures and shots of like people, with like this black people, and they have on their hands up, don't shoot is written on there, like mixed in with in this music video that the children made in the cartoon.
You can't do that.
It's on Disney Plus.
Wow.
It's happening now.
Yeah, no wonder they're
We're balling
hemorrhaging
out
Skyler. I saw an article the other day that this was just a headline, and it was multiple headlines from multiple outlets that said Luke Skywalker's secret LGBTQ plus background.
Oh my God, yes.
And I'm like, oh boy, Disney, what are you guys doing now? What are you guys doing now? I didn't bother to read it because I was like, I'm not interested. Just give me more Mandalorian and we'll be fine. That's all I want. I just want season 3 Mando to not suck, and I'm here for it. Let's do it. That's
Here's
the only
hoping
thing
for
keeping me,
ya.
bro. That's the only thing keeping me there is I need more Mando. I need more Mando. Andor wasn't bad. I liked Andor. That was nice. But
We'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of faith.
New Disney's no good.
No, bro.
It's no good.
No. Nope.
Can't be
And
doing
you know
that.
it's not airing on China because you can't talk about that stuff in China. So we can't even
No.
blame China for that now.
Nope.
Fuck.
That's all us.
That's all us.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, good show today, buddy.
Absolutely. This was an excellent show. I want to
Amen.
thank everybody for being here. This is fucking great. We had excellent viewing the whole time. Excellent comments. Make sure, again,
Absolutely.
like, subscribe, comment, share with all of your friends. Tell everyone about it. We have our Instagram, our Patreon, and our YouTube, all at Salt of the Streets. You can find all of this at saltofthestreets.com, including our own personal social media. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram, and Colin is Big Bird on both of those things. This was a great episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks for episode 143. Excuse me. Of course, couldn't finish one last burp.
Can't do it.
With that, I think that's it. We'll just thank everybody. And
thank you all.
Thank everybody for being here. It was excellent.
Yeah, thanks, Zeke.
Bilbo, Carolina, Alex, Kevin, Deborah was here. We had
Deborah
Joseph
coming in
was here.
post-wedding,
Yeah,
man.
Here for
Shout
it.
out.
Everybody.
Amen.
Thank you. Guy from Germany, if you're in here, shout out to you too. So with that, yeah, you guys have a great time. Read your books, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, keep booking it up.
Welcome to the Salt of the Streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought.